It's been a bit of a tricky season, hasn't it? Because you started the season so well, won 6 races, I think, at the start of it. Oh, well, you shouldn't have corrected me there. You shouldn't have corrected me there. Won 3 races, 6 podiums, was it? Something like that, yeah. And then you had a nasty accident that wasn't your fault, and you've kind of been coming back from that. So you're 3 rounds back now. You qualified 8th this afternoon's race. So how are you feeling?
Yeah, I'm feeling good. 8th obviously is not where I want to be, but I think all things considered and whatnot, it's not too bad. We can definitely take a good result from 8th. It's not 15th, so just need to get a clean start and get away with the lads in front of me, and I think we can do a good job. We had a really good test here at the start of the year and was fastest, so there's proof there that I can do it and the bike can do it. Back into it and just get that feeling that I had at the start of the year again.
Sometimes there's no substitute in training for riding a bike than riding a bike itself, is there? So starting 8th this afternoon, looks like we're going to have nice weather for it. What are your hopes for today's race?
Well, just to move forward firstly, but to fight for the podium would be what I want to do. I'd love to get back on that podium. It's been a while since Donington when I was last stood on it, so if I can get back on the box, that would be mega.
I'm sure you'll be up there, if not this afternoon, sometime soon, Tim. We know it's coming. So in the Superbike class, we've had a pretty good year, to be honest with you. Jason here, he's had 7 wins so far this year. I've got it right this time. And Taryn's had 3. And they both had a bunch of podiums. Jason's currently 2nd in the championship, and Taryn is currently 6th after yesterday's race. But in the way this British Superbike Championship works, there's something called the showdown, where the top 8 riders fight for the championship over the final 3 rounds, and the points accumulated for that side, Jason is still 2nd, and Taryn is actually 3rd in the standings. So a couple of strong races today, and we should be in quite a strong...
Got through, so it's quite hard to chase him down, but I feel like the pace I was putting out towards the end of the race, it's not fast here for Snetterton, but for the track conditions yesterday and the time we've had in the dry, it wasn't so bad. So I think today we've improved the bike a little bit. I didn't get to try it in warm-up then with a little issue, but I think starting 2nd on the grid, try and react this time to the lights and just have a bit of a smoother race. It's a longer race today with more laps, but it always suits our bike luckily.
So 2nd yesterday, so we'll be looking for that number 1.
And there's no reason why we can't fight for the win today. Brad's riding strong, he's got a lot of confidence at the moment, but so have I. Cadwell, the last round wasn't so good results wise, but for the feeling on the bike and in myself, I felt really good, and we've kind of brought that into this weekend with limited dry track time. And yeah, as I said, Brad kind of, I don't know if I could have beaten him yesterday, but I definitely could have gone with him, and he got away before I managed to get through. So hopefully we can be a bit stronger today and challenge him for the win, and yeah, hopefully we can have 2 McCams Yamaha riders up on the podium.
And how are we feeling ahead of these final 3 rounds? We've got Alton Park, Donington Park and Brands Hatch, 3 rounds that you actually performed very well at last year on your way to the British title. So how are you feeling ahead of this showdown this year?
Yeah, I'm not quite in it yet. I think if I score 8 more points than Danny Buchan today, or 6 more points than Buchan, then I'll be confirmed in the showdown. Weirdly missing the first 2 rounds this year, and I wasn't so strong when I came back. I'm actually in a better position than I was this time last year. So
didn't get any laps in that dry session due to a technical issue that was not your fault, it wasn't the team's fault, so it's quite frustrating really. Another little issue yesterday morning, but it was also wet, and then qualifying was wet, so the first time you rode around here in the dry this weekend was in the race yesterday, so it was quite difficult from 19th on the grid, but you managed to secure 4th on the grid for today's race, which was the most important aim, I guess.
Yeah, that was the plan yesterday. The result was never going to be there from 19th on the grid, so the most important thing was just finding some space on the track to get a lap time for today. So we had a chance in the races today, which was the important thing. Managed to do that. Was really happy to be 4th for today, because normally when you start that far back on the grid, it's really difficult to get a decent lap time to push you that far up.
Wound a few riders up on the restart, didn't you?
Yeah, I did, unfortunately. It's, again, like I said, it's difficult to get a lap time when you're in the group. I had a perfect scenario that the safety car came out. I knew that if I stuck on the back of the group that I was with, I probably wouldn't have got the best lap time, because everyone was going to be fighting in them first few laps. So I left quite a big gap, which was to the guys behind me. They weren't pleased about it. left maybe 10 bike lengths to the guy in front, and then just chased him for 3 laps and managed to get a lap time. So when I came in, everyone thought that I'd fallen asleep, not really watching the safety car, but there was a plan to it, and it did work.
You should have seen the faces on pit wall. They did not understand what was going on when Jason dropped a second back, but it all panned out in the end. So how are you feeling with today's 2 races then, Jason? 4th on the grid, it's going to be a little bit easier from there than 19.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to it. Yesterday afternoon was always going to be an unknown. When you have issues over the weekend, it's difficult to know how you're going to feel on the bike or what's going to happen. You know, we obviously missed the dry session on Friday afternoon, which, okay, is only 30 minutes, but it's 30 minutes we didn't have. And more so than that, just feeling comfortable on the bike. When you're stopping and starting out there with some issues, it's difficult to know what's going to happen. So, yeah, to get that full race under our belt, feel pretty comfortable, do what we had to do for today. You know, there's no reason why today we can't be in the front group and back to normal.
Great shame for Danny Kent. That looks like Rio Mizuno on his feet walking away from that one. Danny Kent also will get picked up by the Hero Brake because streaking away at the front. That he had one of the worst starts. Last time it was across the line over Bradley. The last lap he was Danny Kent was as well, because Peter Hickman tried to go around the the manoeuvre, which was cool with him. Pre-season entry stuck, so but once he kind of has got back to